It's no secret that homeless populations is a great source of debate, especially in the Burien and Seattle areas. But the solution that many people seem to think is the end all be all of deterrence is actually incredibly harmful to our society's most vulnerable population and fails to address any real issue, besides making conditions for people already in unfortunate situations worse. This so called solution I'm referring to is what's known as anti homeless architecture. Anti homeless architecture is usually innocuous looking design features designed to make it hard or impossible to sleep or be protected from the elements in certain places. Now, it may seem like a nuisance to have a homeless person sleeping in the doorway of a store or on a park bench, but these are places crucial to the survival of people with nowhere else to go. Homeless shelters in Seattle are upgrading, leaving less living space and beds, and not everyone is welcome there. Pets and children are not always allowed, and asking people to give up their companion animals, not to mention children, is beyond human. While you may think this is an exaggeration, as of 2016, there are 564, 708 homeless people in the US. It might be easy to dismiss that number. After all, it is less than 0.2% of the US population in that year. But then you'd be ignoring 564, 708 people. 564, 708 disadvantaged people in need of support. 83,170 of whom are considered critically homeless. Meaning there's someone who has either experienced 4 bouts of homelessness in the past 3 years, amounting to over 12 months, or they're an individual, or they're a disabled individual who has been homeless for over 12 months. 83,170 already disadvantaged people who have been failed by our system time and time again. 47,725 of them are veterans. 47,725 people who should be honored for risking their lives in defense of our country, no matter what you think about the military. More than half of homeless people are over 50 years old. That's 280,000 people who should be receiving help and support from their families in the most vulnerable time of their life. And many of them suffer from newly developed sensory loss and cognitive impairments. Approximately 110,000 of them are LGBTQ plus youth, most of them kicked out or abused by their family or had run away at the fear of it. That's 110,000 scared kids just being who they are, got kicked out of their family, are more likely to be sexually assaulted, and more likely to kill themselves. In 2007, only 35% of homeless people were white, compared to 77% of the total population. These are the people that are homeless, people who can't take care of themselves or are already disadvantaged in our society. The young, the old, the sick, the queer, the brave, the non-white, the disadvantaged. Sounds like an SJW comic book, doesn't it, boomers? But these are truly the members of society who need the most help. And for many of them, sleeping on a doorstep or under an awning or on a park bench is their best option. Well, we put rails on the benches. We put spikes in the doorways. We put gaps in the awnings so anyone trying to sleep under them gets drenched. We are running these people out of options. And what do? when you have no options left. You steal what you need. You go where you need to survive. And you do this regardless of if it's illegal, despite if you hurt someone in the process. And not because you're a bad person or because you want to break the law. You do this because if you don't, you die. And if there's one thing that humans will risk their lives trying to do, it's survive.